Well, the incident is definitely over. The police have said it's over. They're not looking for any other accomplices or anything like that. And gradually, all these people who were stuck, as that woman was inside Notre Dame Cathedral, are being let out. So gradually, this area, such an important part of the tourist scene in Paris, is returning to normal, though I imagine it'll be an hour or two before it's complete. What happened was that a man was shot after, it seems, he started attacking and threatening passers-by and police with a hammer. It's also reported that he had 2 knives on him. At one point, it looked like maybe he'd attacked police officers on duty outside the police headquarters, which is right on the opposite side of the square from Notre Dame Cathedral. But the latest report I've seen suggests that no, he attacked police who were among the crowd in the middle of the square, who were helping to sort of organise security generally among the vast numbers of visitors who were there. But he attacked those police officers and he hurt one lightly on the head with a hammer and then was shot dead by the, well, sorry, not shot dead, he was shot by the other. The place was then emptied very, very quickly. The square was empty. All that was left was the body of this man, injured or dead, on the ground, and then the police were around him, and then an ambulance came and took him away. Excuse me, that is my phone. I'm turning that off now. And what we don't know is the identity of the man. We're told that he was hit in the chest by the gunshots. We're told that he is alive, but we don't know how life-threatening his injuries are.
Hugh, thanks for the update. Hugh Schofield, our correspondent for us in Paris. And with me in the studio is our security correspondent, Frank Gardner. Frank, if, as is the case, let's talk about maybe just a quick word about Paris and then, of course, the situation here in London. If it's true that that man was approaching saying this is for Syria, inevitably it will lead to pretty solid suggestions that this, again, is part of the trend that we've been looking at.
Yeah, I mean, the French authorities are treating this as a terrorist attack. This is pretty minor compared to some of the horrific hostage situations and multiple marauding firearms terrorist attacks that the French have suffered. And when you think compared to what happened in Nice in July last year, where that Tunisian drove a truck into a crowd of people and killed 86 people, this is minor. You know, the fact that he's been shot and kept alive is helpful. They will be able to interrogate him, he will be arrested, he will go to prison once he's had medical treatment, I'm quite sure, assuming he's convicted. I think it's kind of hard to see how that's going to be avoided.
Those are the images from Paris, and as we see those, Frank, can we just talk about the situation as it's developing now following the London Bridge attacks, because clearly there have been some important developments there, including the naming of the third attacker. What conclusions are you drawing today after this latest development?
The conclusion I'm drawing, Hugh, is not a happy one, and it's that something is fundamentally wrong or broken about the system of identifying who is a potential threat. Now, this isn't necessarily the fault of police and MI5, because they can't see inside people's heads, but something is wrong if time and again we're hearing that people are reporting in to the anti-terrorist hotline or to the police or to the authorities, so Citizen X has got dangerously extremist views. I'm worried about it. You know, we're all worried. What are you going to do about it? Now, hopefully, I would like to think that all the people involved here were investigated. But the problem is, if they're not doing anything during those 2 to 3 months of investigation, they then get downgraded to a lower priority. They're taken off the immediate priority list. And that's the time in which they can then start to make their plans. So either they've got to have better intelligence, more informants placed what's called upstream inside these networks. And the problem is they're not always networks. You know, if somebody's really annoyed about something, they can decide to take action, but they're not necessarily going to tell anybody. Usually there's what's called leakage, where somebody can't resist telling their mates, I'm going to go and do something. And you know, if we're lucky, that mate then reports it to the police. But it doesn't always happen. So the system of reporting concerns isn't fully working at the moment. It's worked in many, many cases. And let's not forget, the background to this is that 18 terrorist attacks have been stopped in the UK since 2013. But 3 have got through in the last in 3 months. And more are going to be tried. So they've got to up their game.